Wes Rucker and Patrick Brown here with Go Vols 24/7 talking about another day of Tennessee football preseason camp. They're not calling it preseason camp, but it's not game week yet, Pat, so I think we're going to go ahead and still call it
mock
a
game
bit
week.
of preseason. Yeah, mock game week 1. And well, there was no practice access this morning, but we were able to speak after practice with offensive coordinator Joey Halzle and 3 offensive players, including Joe Milton, QB1. Lots of interesting stuff there. Again, remember, don't ever say he was Hendon Hooker's little brother. That was lesson number 1 today, although we've heard that before. We'll get to that in a second. But Pat, obviously, Joey Halzle, I think, had a couple interesting things to say. He was a little bit more toned down, I think, than we've seen him at times. At times, you know, he kind of like Alex Golesh, sounds like a future head coach. And like a future head coach, he knows when to say things and not to. And I thought he was pretty toned down today. But I think it was interesting that he said Tennessee might play like 5 or 6 wide receivers, or they're comfortable with 5 or 6 receivers. We've heard that before.
Yeah, I think the most is going to be 4. Like, I don't think Caleb Webb and Chaz Nimrod, while they've had good camps and good preseasons and they feel comfortable playing those guys, as Halsey said, I don't think those guys are going to take snaps away from Brew McCoy. I think the rotation will be in the slot with Squirrel White and Dante Thornton Jr. I did ask Halsey about that dynamic, and he said they both are, you know, kind of understand that I'm going to go out there and get mine, I'm going to come off, you're going to go out there and get yours, and we're just going to keep on going. Asked Squirrel White about it. He said they have like 5 handshakes between them. So they all want to, you know, they all know they're going to get opportunities in this offense. And as we saw last year at receiver, it doesn't take long for you to get a couple guys beat up, then you might be the only guy playing there. So
yeah, and speaking of banged up guys, obviously the offensive line is where we'll go next, because Cooper Mays and that injury that still kind of leaves him, I would say, very, very questionable heading into the season. We'll see how much time he, in fact, has to miss. But because of that, obviously there's a new look offensive line, right? You took a couple guys like Darnell Wright and Jerome Carvin out. Well, now maybe going into the season for at least a little bit, you're taking Cooper Mays out of the equation. Do you think Tennessee has settled on its 5? Do you think that we can take much from what Halsey said today about the comfort they have there?
yeah, he might have been, I don't want to say overselling, but you know, he wants to give his guys confidence. I think they have settled on a starting 5. Halsey said that. We've heard that the 5 they've had out there with the ones is kind of been the same group for a few days now. So. But that said, I think you could be a couple, you know, could be some rotation at right tackle and left guard specifically. Those are sort of the spots that maybe those competitions go a little bit into the season. But, you know, left tackle is going to be John Campbell Jr. Center will probably be Ollie Lane for as long as Cooper Mays is out. And obviously Javonte Spraggins is at right guard. And it's looking like it'll be Andre Carrick at left guard and Jeremiah Crawford at right tackle. So, you know, we'll see if that changes over the next week before they get to Nashville. But I think that's where they're standing right now, going into game week next week and operating without Cooper for, we'll see how long it is.
And that would be no Gerald Mincey in the lineup too, which would be interesting. A lot of people would not have predicted that months ago. I would not have predicted it going into camp, but here it is. Regardless, not much to say from Joe Milton. He's still confident. I don't think anything has changed there, unless you got anything to add. I think we're all square on QB1. He's confident and ready to go.
Yeah, he's ready to play some football. I think he's done his talking for the offseason. We're not going to hear from him again until probably after the game next week in Nashville. But yeah, he's kind of tired of hearing him talking about his path and being, you know, the second fiddle to Hendon Hooker. You know, I think he's confident where he's at. I think he's confident in where his offense is at. Obviously, he bought the team headphones, you know, through an NIL deal. So
nice ones too.
Gave him a message with a card, said, "Hey, let's go win the East. I got your back," that kind of thing. So I think that's just another sign of the leader and sort of the teammate that Joe Milton has become. And he's ready to go put it out there on the field and prove himself and show what he can do.
And the other 2 guys we spoke with were fast guys, Squirrel White and Dylan Sampson, and we'll be fast getting out of here because we'll have more from them on GoVols247.com, along with other things from practice today. We'll have some analysis type stuff from post-game or post-practice. We got all sorts of stuff up there on GoVols247.com, as we do every single day. For Patrick Brown, I'm Wes Rucker. We'll see y'all soon.